Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little bit of a random home reset. As usual, life has been really busy, but in the best way. But after the last couple of weeks, it's definitely time to get back into a routine. Last week, my oldest daughter had her World Series softball tournament in South Alabama, and I'm so incredibly proud of her and her team. They played their hearts out all season and ended up finishing second place. It was such an exciting week, even though the heat was absolutely miserable. The girls pushed through it and they did an amazing job. While I was away at the tournament with her, my husband stayed home with our younger two kids, getting everything ready for an upcoming camping trip that we had already had plans months before we even knew the tournament schedule. So it just happened that everything landed during the same week. So normally before we leave town, I like to have the house clean from top to bottom. I love coming home to a clean house after vacation when there's already so much stuff to unpack, laundry to wash, everything else that comes with getting home. It just makes life so much easier coming home to a clean house. So needless to say, I didn't quite get the house clean before I left. My husband had his hands full taking care of the younger two kids, packing up the camper, getting everything ready, and making sure everything was loaded. I had most of the packing done beforehand, but there was still plenty for him to juggle. So when we got home from vacation, there were still dishes in the sink, the floors needed cleaning, and of course we had piles of vacation laundry waiting on us. So I had one more day off work before heading back to work, and instead of spending it cleaning, we decided to enjoy one more family day together and went to the river. It was such a beautiful day, and we just had a great time. It was so worth taking the time. It was much more important to us than having a perfectly clean house. So anyway, now that we're back home, it's time to start getting everything back in order. I'm making one of our family favorite quick meals, egg roll in a bowl, even though I didn't have the cabbage, but it's okay. It's a simple, high protein filling and perfect for a quick evening dinner when I needed to get it on the table fast. So while dinner was cooking, I'm taking the opportunity to reset the kitchen a little at a time. I'm getting the dishes washed, going to wipe down the counters, pick things up, and try to get ahead for the week ahead tomorrow. I also discovered that while we were gone, some ants decided to make themselves at home in here, so I've been spotting a few around the kitchen, especially near some food that got left behind while we were away. So I'm trying to get everything cleaned up and figure out where they're coming from before they could become a bigger problem. Thankfully, both the girls have officially wrapped up their ball seasons. The World Series marked the end of Adeline's softball season, and Emmy's t-ball season is finished too. It ended a few weeks back in June. It was such a fun season, but I think we're all ready for a little breather before the fall sports start back up. This week, we only have one evening of flag football for Adeline, which feels like such a vacation compared to our usual schedule. Today's reset isn't anything fancy as usual. I'm just getting the kitchen back in shape, making dinner, and slowly getting our home ready for the start of the week. Thank you so much for spending a little part of your day with me. I hope this video gives you some cleaning motivation, encourages you if your home isn't perfectly put together after a busy season of life, and reminds you that sometimes the little resets are the ones that make the biggest difference. So let's get started. I didn't end up getting quite as much done as I had hoped, so this is now the next day. By the time I had finished cooking dinner, we ate, and I cleaned up the kitchen, it was already getting pretty late. So I went ahead and started our bedtime routine, got the baby to bed, and honestly, I was exhausted. We've had such a fun and busy week, but coming home from vacation and trying to get everything back in order has definitely caught up with me. So I didn't finish cleaning as much as I hoped that night, and that's okay. Sometimes I just have to listen to my body and call it a night. So it's the next day and I'm getting back to it. I was able to get a little more accomplished today, and I'm just slowly working my way through the house and getting things back in order. There's no rush here, and everything doesn't have to be all done at once. I'm just doing what I can and trying to get us back into our normal routine. Okay, it already feels like I've gotten so much accomplished just by getting the sink cleaned out. I love having a clean sink. I don't know about you, but it just makes me feel so much different. The sink can hold so many smells, so getting the dishes cleared out and giving it a good cleaning makes the whole kitchen feel fresher already. I'm also giving the kitchen window a really good cleaning. There was just so much soap splatter all over it, and honestly, I haven't cleaned it in quite a while. So it's definitely time to go ahead and clean that. Now I'll be able to look through a nice clean window again. I was also taking a minute to water my aloe plant. This thing has grown so much. It started out as such a tiny little plant, and I'm really kind of surprised that it's doing as well as it is because I neglect it pretty badly. Apparently, aloe doesn't need much attention because it's still growing like crazy. Now I'm moving on over to the other side of the counter, trying to get some of these ants cleaned up. I put out one of those little cheap ant traps, which clearly did not work at all, so it was pretty pointless. So I'm going to have to find something else to get these ants taken care of. But in the meantime, I'm trying to wipe all the ones I can find, figure out where they're coming from, and of course get everything cleaned up so there's nothing left around for them to feed on. It's also been a while since I've cleaned this cake stand. I actually use it more like a bread bin because I don't really have anywhere else to store our bread. So it just stays out on our counter all the time. It doesn't fit inside any of my cabinets, so it really just tends to collect quite a bit of dust. I didn't even realize how dusty it had gotten until I picked it up. So I decided to go ahead and give it a good cleaning today. Moving on into the living room, it's just the usual everyday messes in here, but it's compounded. It definitely needs to be picked up. I really wasn't sure if I'd have enough time to get this taken care of today, so I'm really thankful that I was able to. So I'm just going to get everything picked up and put it back where it belongs so we can have a nice clean living room to enjoy again. As we're nearing the end of today's video, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to join me and watch my video. It truly means so much to me. I hope this video gave you a little bit of motivation and encouragement, but also hope it reminded you that your house doesn't have to be perfectly clean all the time. Sometimes spending that extra time with your family is so much more important. That's something I have to remind myself of often because I really do love having a clean house. It helps me feel less anxious and puts me in a better mood. But I also know that spending quality time with my family needs to be a priority too. So sometimes it's okay to put the housework on hold and enjoy those little family moments. The mess will still be there when you get back, but those little moments with your family are something you'll never get back. Thank you again for spending some of your time with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you again in the next one.